Hello everyone, welcome to the next lecture of CAPS, Computer Aided Process Synthesis. In this lecture, we are going to see environmental issues. In previous lecture, we have seen what is process designing, what parameters we are going to design, what are the designing opportunities. In that, we have seen what is the use of natural resources to manufacture basic chemical products and what is the role of basic chemical products to manufacture industrial products, and after that what is the role of these all products to manufacture consumer products. After that we have seen steps involved in chemical process design. Means for that we have first find potential opportunity, after that we have created process and optimize that process if that not optimized. After that we apply those things on actual field. I have explained you all these things in detail in previous lecture. So in this lecture, we are going to see environmental issues. So those are major environmental issues are burning of fossil fuels. For example, we are burning these fossil fuels for generation of power and electricity. We will see that after that, but handling of toxic waste or handling of wastewater. So environmental issues in this, first one is burning of fossil fuel. Burning of fossil fuels for generation of power and electricity. These types of processes involve evaluation of oxides of sulfur, oxides of nitrogen and carbon dioxide. So what is the meaning of mercaptans? Mercaptans means those compounds which are forms or which contains of sulfur, those are known as mercaptans. These compounds are very hazardous in nature because sulfur containing compounds causes cancer. Those compounds are carcinogenic in nature and those compounds are known as mercaptans. So these are the very hazardous chemicals, which hazardous compounds which can cause cancer because of their carcinogenic nature. After that, handling of toxic waste. In the chemical and nuclear power plant, industries large quantity of toxic waste are produced annually. And I'm taking example for the chemical or chemical related plants and toxic wastewater, or we can say wastewater only. For example, industrial area of Vapi and Ankleshwar produces a large amount of wastewater. And this wastewater handling is the major issue in current scenario because many companies are not using any advanced wastewater treatment to treat those wastewater coming from the industries. And also they are not following any regulation of or guidelines given by the GPCB or CPCB, Pollution Control Boards. That is the Gujarat Pollution Control Board and second one is the Central Pollution Control Board. So because of these, there are many environmental issues. After that, handling of toxic waste, we have seen large amount of toxic waste are coming from the power plant and nuclear power plant. So for that, they are not using any companies are not using any advanced treatment to treat those toxic waste. So if they uses any advanced treatment to treat those toxic waste, then this problem can be solved, but they are not using. Similarly, burning of fossil fuels also creating large amount of environmental issues. After that, we will see environmental factors in process designing. Environmental factors in process designing. So this is the list of environmental factors. First one is reaction pathway, second one is reducing and reusing waste, third one is material characterizations, and fourth one is regulation. Now we will see one by one. So first one is reaction pathway. So in this, reaction pathways to reduce byproduct toxicity. Reaction pathways to reduce product toxicity. So if any product is toxic in nature, we know that toxicity is main concern of environmental issues. So how to reduce that toxicity? So for that, what is actual reaction pathway? Means we have to select reaction pathway in such a way that final product or end product should be having minimum toxicity. After that, the selection of reaction pathway. How to select? So reaction pathway to reduce byproduct toxicity is the key consideration while designing, because these are the harmful for living things. It means whenever we are designing any process, then our reaction pathway is in a such a way that its toxicity should be minimum, and that should be giving minimum hazards to the living things. We cannot say that every process is 100% efficient and having 0% toxicity. Toxicity is there because we are generating chemicals, we are manufacturing chemicals, but our reaction pathway in such a way that toxicity should be minimum as possible. So this is a major concern while designing any process. Toxicity of products and byproducts must be evaluated by chemists in laboratory. It means we know that chemical analysis is always done by the chemist in laboratory. So we should know reaction pathway in such a way that toxicity should be minimum, means catalyst we are using that should give the minimum toxicity, or it should give maximum efficiency. After that, second one, reducing and reusing waste. Means before releasing any waste, is there any way to reuse it or reducing the waste? We have to find out that. Means as we know that no process is 100% efficient. I told you, no process is 100% efficient. So reducing or reusing or recycling enhance by using reusing, or we can say by using reducing or recycling, we can enhance the quality of the products and minimizing the quality of or quantity of the waste. Means by using recycling, reusing, we can enhance the product quality and we can minimize the toxic waste or any waste generating from the chemical process plant. After that, material characterization. So how to characterize the material? So we must know concentration of toxic material or toxic gases and characteristics of materials of construction. Means while designing any process, we should know material of construction, that known as MOC. We should know MOC for that equipment and characterization of the gases. And this characterization is given by the chemist in lab. Okay, so we should have the assay of the any chemical. Assay means having all data related to that chemical. After that, MOC is important to carry out reactions. That is easily without leakage and environmental, and that should be environmental friendly. Means whatever MOC we are using to manufacture any process equipment or process designing, we should know those MOC data, and we should know all the analytical data that is given by the chemist, and that should give the environmental friendly process design. After that, regulation. This is a fourth parameter. So environmental regulation which are given by the pollution control boards. For example, state level pollution control board, that is the GPCB, and central level pollution control board, that is the CPCB. Regulations given by these two bodies that should be followed by the all companies. Then and then we can control environmental factor in process designing. So environmental regulations which are given by these bodies must be followed while designing and operating any chemical process to enhance the product quality and minimize the waste that is coming from the industrial wastewater. Or we can say while generating any chemical, there is large amount of toxic material or industrial wastewater is generating. To minimize those things, we have to follow regulations given by the pollution control bodies. So it is important because of the higher operating temperature and cause pyrolysis. Means whatever the temperature we are using for generating chemicals, or so for that we should know what is the optimum range of the temperature, because if we increase the temperature, there is a chances of pyrolysis. Pyrolysis means breakdown of the chemical products. So temperature handling also important, and regulations. So for this reaction pathway, reducing and reusing waste, after that material characterization and regulations. These 4 parameters are very important for process designing. After that, we will see now safety consideration. So for safety consideration, these 4 parameters are important. First one is LFL, after that UFL, after that flash point, and after that fire point. These 4 parameters are very important for safety consideration of any designing or any equipment. So what is the meaning of LFL, UFL, flash point, and fire point? We will see one by one. So LFL means, LFL stands for, see here, LFL stands for lower flammability limit. So what is meaning of LFL? That volume percentage of constituents below which flammability does not take place is known as lower flammability limit. I'm reading again. Try to understand this line. Volume percentage of constituents below which flammability does not take place. Below which flammability not takes place. That known as a lower flammability limit. And what is UFL? UFL means upper flammability limit. Upper flammability limit. What is meaning of this? Volume percent. This definition is similar to previous, that is LFL. Volume percentage of constituents above which flammability does not take place. Means flammability takes place between this range, LFL and UFL. Okay, on one side there is LFL and other side UFL. Between this range, there is a flammability takes place. But below that, below the temperature, that flammability not takes place, that known as lower flammability limit, and above which there is no flammability, that known as upper flammability. So volume percentage of constituents below which flammability does not take place is known as lower flammability limit. And after that, what is UFL? Volume percentage of constituents above which flammability does not take place is known as upper flammability limit. Means flammability takes place between the UFL and LFL. After that, flash point. This is a very important term, flash point and fire point. If you are working in petroleum industry, you should know what is the flash point for the any petroleum products and what is the fire point for the any petroleum products, because petroleum products are very dangerous in nature and hazardous in nature. So while transportation, these points are very plays important role, flash point and fire point, because if we know the fire point and flash point of the chemical products, so for transportation, whatever tanks we are using, for transportation, whatever tanks we are using, for that, whatever MOC is required, material of construction is required, based on these points, based on these limits, we can design those tanks. Again, I am telling you, LFL, UFL, flash point, fire point. These are these 4 parameters plays important role while designing any chemical equipments. More importantly, these are very important for designing of the equipments which are handling the petroleum products, because certain chemical products or petroleum products having very less flash point. If there is a less flash point, means they can easily carry out the fire, means at less temperature. So what is a flash point? So it is the minimum temperature at which combustible liquid starts to burn without continuous burning. Flash point, it is a minimum temperature. Flash point means it is temperature. Okay, so it is a minimum temperature at which combustible liquids means those which can be burned, that known as combustible liquids. So it is a minimum temperature at which combustible liquid starts to burn without continuous burning. Without continuous burning, this line is important. Without continuous burning, so that temperature is known as flash point. And fire point is, it is a minimum temperature. It is a definition is same, but only one word is different. See here, continuous burning and without continuous burning. So fire point is, it is a minimum temperature at which combustible liquids starts to burn with continuous burning. If that is continuous burning, means that point is known as fire point. If there is a without continuous burning, then that point is known as flash point. So these are the 4 definitions which can be asked for 4 marks or 5 marks. 4 definition for, but for 5 marks can be asked, because flash point and fire point carries maximum weightage. Okay. So these are the 4 definitions we have seen in today's lecture.